So who is Praharsha?
Hi Akshay, my name is Praharsha. I am Praharsha. So I have done my bachelor's in architecture,
Mhm.
and currently I have a work experience of 1.5 years. I've been
Okay.
working in Bangalore itself,
Okay.
and I've also interned for again like 1 semester, which is a part of our curriculum. That
Okay.
also I've done in Bangalore itself.
Okay. So I'm just curious, Praharsha, like this architect career was a pre-planned career, or it was a go with the flow approach? So what was your in your mind in the initial days of this career?
Actually, it was pre-planned. I was aware of what I wanted to do from 8th standard itself.
Mhm.
So I have taken steps from 8th grade. Actually, till 12th grade, it's not required for you to pre-plan as such. The thing is, for my architecture back then, we had to give NATA exam, right? In
Okay.
that, maths was very compulsory. Like it was a compulsory norm. So for that, in my 12th, I took PCMC. I had only two options. I had PCMB, PCMC,
Okay.
or we could take psychology as well.
Mhm.
I thought the most closer to what I wanted to achieve was PCMC.
Okay.
So I took up PCMC. So it was a very pre-planned stuff
Pre-planned.
only related. Yeah.
Okay. So you were mentioning about NATA examination, right?
Yeah.
So just give a like 1 minute of brief discussion on NATA. So how was your preparation? What was the cutoff? And what was
Mm.
the college based on the cutoff? Just give a brief
Okay.
idea on that. What you?
So actually, this NATA exam is one of the entrance exams that you have to write to get into
Okay.
architecture.
Hmm.
There are actually two main exams. One is NATA, which if you want to get into state universities,
Okay.
like what I wanted to get into, and Central, you can write JE paper two. So
Okay.
that is most for like Central NITs and that kind of colleges.
Hmm.
So in NATA, you have to start your preparation either from 11th standard or from 12th standard.
Hmm.
So, the subjects that you will have to prepare is aptitude irutte, and
Okay.
then there'll be drawing mainly in terms of they want to see how quick you are to visualize something, atara. Not like you need to be very good at sketching or anything like that.
Okay.
They just want to test your visual creativity skills. And
Okay.
apart from that, there is basic math also.
Okay.
And this is how the subjects are divided, and main marks will go to drawing obviously in
Mhm.
the examination. Second comes aptitude, third comes math.
Okay.
And your 12th board exams, whatever you prepare for math, that is more than sufficient to do
Sufficient. Okay.
NATA math as well. And I had gone to coaching classes,
Hmm.
which would be at Nagarbavi,
Okay.
but I know a lot of my friends who didn't actually go to any coaching classes. They
Okay.
did self-study on their own. So even that is a method you can follow. There are n number of books that is available for NATA aptitude itself.
Okay.
So they cover like question papers, everything. So if you do that book, it's more than sufficient.
And one thing you mentioned about sketches, I mean diagram, right? So they will be
Yeah,
giving a scenario, and we need to sketch according to that scenario. Correct? Just correct me if I'm wrong.
exactly. Exactly, yes. So they just give you like a line,
Hmm.
and it is most of the times not a scenario which you would have seen. Like,
Okay.
for example, I'll just give you one question. They'll tell you, imagine you are a worm and
Hmm.
you're stuck in a fruit basket
Okay.
and you're in a market.
Uh-huh.
So you draw your perspective from there, Anta.
Okay.
Basically, I just want to see if you're able to grasp the details around you, Atara.
Okay.
Because human perspective we would have seen. But like from a worm perspective or like an eagle perspective and all,
Mhm.
they ask you. So that is something they are, I think that's the aim of testing for that exam.
It's like situation-based thinking capability, I can say.
Yeah.
So just
Yes.
imagine and sketch according to that.
Correct. Yes.
So let assume that, yeah, I decided myself that I need to start career as you. Okay, so what is the cutoff score in the NATA? Any talk on that?
Okay, so actually, I think there has been a lot of
Mm.
changes because I gave my exam say 7 years back.
Okay.
So things have changed for now. But NATA comparative, so again, like any other exam, they mix it with your 12th percentage
Mm.
and
Okay.
then also with your CET ranking, and then you get into whichever colleges you like.
Hold it. Okay.
So again, like it can range from 100,
Mm-hmm.
300 200, it's all good scores.
Okay.
Again, the competition for NATA is comparatively lesser than other engineering, obviously, because there are a lot of aspiring engineers
Mhm.
that we have today.
Yep.
But for NATA specifically, at least back in the day, we had a very small number,
Okay.
so it was much easier to get into colleges and all that.
And
Yeah,
one thing, you mentioned that you already pre-planned your career path, right? So, what was
yeah.
the myth and what was the reality? See, until unless you are into that domain, you won't be knowing the reality, right? So, what was your myth and what was your reality? So, any talk on that, Prasha?
Okay, so if you say like myth and reality, okay, if we have to think like what people told me when I told them I'm taking this profession versus what I actually experienced in college.
Okay.
When I told my parents, well wishers, everybody who I told them only in 11th. Till
Uh-huh.
then, even I was very confused. Like I didn't know architecture as a term. I
Mhm.
just knew this is the kind of things I want to pursue.
Okay.
But what I heard is from my young age, I was really good with crafts and sketches and everything.
Mhm.
So everyone told because you know sketching, because you know crafts, it's going to be easy for you. It's
Okay.
anyways drawing and painting, right, Anta? That is a very common
Oh.
perception.
Mhm.
Like if you know sketching, you can do architecture, Anta.
Mhm.
But I feel that's where things, start.
Okay.
You can obviously, if you want to explain it to someone, we have the ability to draw it, visualize it, and show it to them. But there is a lot more than just sketching.
Okay.
That was one common misperception that everybody, literally everybody told me.
Okay.
And the second thing is mainly it's a lot of money. Like a lot of money. If it's architecture, you will just, that's the right thing you're doing because you will to get back all the money that you invest on that. That was very, very much told.
Okay.
But
Sorry to interrupt you. Lot of money in the sense, like lot of money for the fee perspective, or lot of money in the return. Once you get into the job. So what you mean? Lot of money means.
in written
Okay.
was what I was told before
Uh-huh.
starting the day.
Okay.
Because it's said, na, it's very glamorous to
Mhm.
hear the word architect and
Mhm.
all. So I was told that. But once I got into the field, and once now that I've worked for like 1.5 year, and I have friends who also are architects,
Okay.
it's obviously money later on, but like any other profession for beginners,
Acha.
we have like a council.
Mm.
Maybe we can talk on this later. It's called COA,
Acha.
and they have some set how to say, they have some set salary
Okay.
marking for like
Mhm.
this much experience.
Okay.
Few firms still follow that. It is
Mhm.
as I know friends whose salary is as low as like 12K.
Okay.
So for the starters, so they start with that. Again, like it depends on the firm to firm basis. It
Yep.
can go to 15, 18, 20, 25. Those are your starting ranges. It really is a wide range of
Mhm. Mhm.
sector. But it's nowhere close to what people, tell you before you get into.
Okay.
They'll tell like what sign you do, you'll get like 50 lakhs. So that and all is, it'll take you a lot of, days.
So, like what I can say is like money is there, but you should have a experience and mindset. So if you are
Yeah.
experienced and if you have done a pretty good project, so I can say that you can have a good return. So that is what my
Correct. And
uh-huh.
also, I feel if you have your own firm, if you are practicing on your own, then you have a fair bit advantage on everything, like compared to when you're an employee.
Okay.
So that is the cut edge
All right.
thing.
So
Yeah,
this is the proper talk on your myth as well as the reality part.
yeah, yeah,
And just another one. So this is kind of a mutual question even audience will be having. So you
mhm,
mentioned that there will be a cutoff and there will be less competition, especially in the NATA stream,
yeah.
right? So how
Correct.
to choose this college, Praharsha? Look, there will be
Hmm.
differences like VTO college will be there, Vishwashraya Institute of Technology will be there, and autonomous, the private college. So how
Yes.
to choose the college and what will be the beneficial of choosing individual colleges, Praharsha? So what is your thought process?
Okay, so actually, when I was in 12th, I didn't know about these VTU autonomous and all back then. Uh, I can only tell you the benefits. I have a few friends who have also studied in autonomous. So if you come to VTU, it's just like any other, like even engineering has VTU, right?
Okay.
So the only thing is there is a like a huger body that is functioning. There's a structure in place and
Okay.
all of that.
Mm.
In autonomous, your college can take the decision, which can be a plus, which can be a negative as well.
I can relate.
Um, yeah, and for VTU, I would say even I've seen the current syllabus. It is a bit, let's say, outdated in the
Okay.
sense that that's not really in practice.
Mhm. Okay.
It's very helpful while you're studying. It'll help your foundations and all of that,
Okay.
but you need a lot of self study on top of what VTU teaches you.
Okay.
But autonomous, there are a few professors, and the college itself helps you to
Mhm.
keep in track of the current market. So
Okay.
I think those are the main differences with the two colleges. Again, it's left to your own choice. Like
Yeah.
everyone will have to do their own decisions. So yeah, I think those are the main points.
So let come to a conclusion that let assume that you have option to choose VTO versus autonomous. So what is your preferable college?
Okay, so okay, let's say I want to do masters after I do bachelor's. If I
Okay.
have that in mind, then I very much think VTU is a good stepping
Okay.
because it's very recognized.
Mhm.
And even in platforms like DigiLocker and all of that, your say marks cards, transcripts are recognized.
Mhm.
So that is very important when you're going abroad. uh, Suppose you have done it in autonomous college, for
Okay.
you to prove it to them that this is also a valid degree
Mhm. Mhm.
might take 2 3 steps more. But in VTU it's very recognized, right? So
Okay. Mhm.
everyone is aware of it. I think that's a plus point, and I would choose that in case I want to do my masters.
All right. So one thing, guys, like here, all individuals will be having their own opinion. So you can take these inputs as your deciding factor and take your own call. But this is just a reference. Okay. Here we're not suggesting that you should go in this part itself. It is just a Prahasha's opinion, and
Yeah,
it is total up to you to take your call. Okay. So that is one thing
yeah.
I want to clear with you guys. And what else we can add it, Prahasha, from your end? Preparation part and sources. Yeah, coming to the sources part.
Mm,
In the initial stage of examination, before giving NATA examination. So, how was your
mm,
preparation? What was the books you referred? If you remember the name of the books, and what was the
mhm.
website you preferred?
I don't really remember the names of the books,
Uh-huh.
but again, if you just type NATA examination, I think any book you can refer because most of them will, it's on you, like I
Uh-huh.
said. Like those are just like words. You with the technology we have today, we can even prepare through ChatGPT.
Mhm.
So it's just like as simple as that. And at least in my profession, everything comes down to you.
Mhm.
So if you are able to crack what the question is, it all comes down to you, and you cannot be really prepared.
Mhm.
Like for aptitude, obviously you can prepare yourself. There are few general knowledge questions. I would like to add that
Okay.
in terms of architecture, actually. So it is very well to be aware of the things that's happening around you, like your monuments or things that are getting constructed, all of that.
Mhm.
And you might be quizzed based on that in NATA.
Okay.
So one specific question I remember in
Mhm.
my NATA examination was which is called the blue city of India. So I it's Jodhpur, and then there's like that, like terms, Lake City of India, like that.
Okay. Mhm.
So in your preparation, obviously it's given in the books,
Mhm.
but if you should be more observing towards everything around you, and that will really help you in your examination and even during your course.
Super. So somewhere, I heard that, before giving, interviewing to you, I did my research. Like there was a quote saying that architect people won't sleep at all. So is it true? What does it?
uh, Okay, so this I can add this point in a way that what really happens in the course.
Okay.
So maybe if I give you like a brief of what life of an architect student in college feels like, we
Okay.
can come to a conclusion if it's possible to sleep or not possible. So what really happens is there is a huge shift in education system from
Okay.
12th standard to architecture. Like, I wish someone told me this,
Mhm.
before I started. Like, the whole system of however you have learned your subjects, modules, everything is like upside down.
Mhm.
So we need at least one semester to prepare for that,
Okay.
process of learning. Mainly what happens is most of it is practical,
Okay.
so we cannot just read and like write exams. that
Anything.
is that
Okay.
is what we were used to doing, right?
Okay.
So suddenly we have like huge sheets of paper, and we are trained to draw in them, sketch in them, and people expect near perfection in all of the things that we produce,
Okay.
and a lot of redos. Our jurors or our teachers, they will never be satisfied at least till 3 sems, 4 sems. They will keep, also their motto is to push you in the direction that you also see much details, and you are almost perfect to your sense at least. So till they feel it's perfect, redo, 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 redo. So obviously you don't have enough time to do redos, right? So that's why you like push it through the night. And again, like, I have had friends who have not had this problem.
Okay.
They've like had a proper routine and managed their time and all of that. For some people, obviously it's easier to grasp to things and grasp to the change, but few of us really took some time till third sem, you can say third, fourth sem. It takes time to get adjusted to this new way of learning. I think that's why the sleepless nights and all of that. Yeah.
Okay, so it's like, before choosing the architect career, you should be mentally prepared and you should be aware that what are the challenges you might fail during this career path. So that
Yeah.
is what happens. And I don't know,
Correct.
I just wanted to ask this question in the early talk of this session. So, yeah, what is the difference between civil engineer and architect here? Any talk on that?
Yeah. So, uh, from the get go, there are a lot of differences. First is the examination you take is all very different. But as a career, if we are looking into that aspect, architecture itself is a different degree that you hold. So, you'll be studying for Bachelor's of Architecture, which is 5 years course.
Okay.
In the middle, you'll also have your training, like you have
Okay.
1 semester of internship.
Mhm.
So that is a part of it. And if you take civil engineering, it's a part of engineering. And the main differences is civil engineering mainly focus on the technical part of it, analytics, technicals, maths, physics, that kind.
Okay.
So,
Mhm.
for example, we are very much working closely with civil engineers.
Okay.
So, as architects, we work with them.
Mhm.
The thing is, if a project comes first, somebody has to start it and somebody
Okay.
has to firm up the whole thing, right? Like from concept to planning to elevation, aesthetics, everything.
Okay.
And we also have very, let's say, mild structural knowledge as well.
Mhm.
Like when we are planning, we include that. Later, the whole plan goes to civil engineers and they
Okay.
take it forward from there. So maybe whatever comes to site and how much cement, how much, the ratios, everything,
Okay.
they would take it on them to calculate it and then bring the structure up. So it's a very cohesive thing that we do.
Okay, now putting the words in layman's words, it's like there will be a skeleton, and your jobs will be like making that skeleton attractive. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. So uh, yeah, it's almost on the same track,
Mhm.
but like we'll not have anything, right? So initially we'll just have a site. It's like
Mhm.
a plain ground,
Okay.
and then architects will jump into, and let's say, Akshay, if you are the client, right, you will have certain needs that
Mhm.
you want. Let's say you want 2 rooms,
Okay.
whatever, 2 rooms, 1 hall, all of that. You will tell it to the architects,
Mhm.
and I will see according to vastu or according to weather, everything. We consider a lot of aspects, even sustainability and
Okay.
health. Uh, to just add to this point, in
Okay.
the current office that I'm currently working, we also have this another stream called
Okay.
health by design.
Mhm.
So it's a way to bring health into the space you're living in. So all that also comes under architecture itself. So sustainability, all that, we make something basic
Mhm.
give drawings, all of that. Then
Okay.
it goes to the civil engineer who will read our drawings, tell if it's possible, not possible. Sometimes we can go crazy. It
Yeah,
might not even be
I get that. Yep.
possible.
Yep.
So, and then they will take it forward from there.
Okay. So you mentioned that this architecture course is about 5 years of
Yeah.
time, right? And for 1 year you'll be working as an internship in one of the
Uh,
MNC organization.
yes.
And you also mentioned about the Vastu thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So this Vastu education, Vastu syllabus is one among this 5 years of curriculum, or is it some extra you need to learn? Like how is it actually?
Vastu doesn't come in the course.
Mhm.
So there are a lot of things, like I said before, it doesn't come in VTU, it doesn't come in autonomous as well, or in the syllabus, but it's very generally practiced
Okay.
nowadays. At least if you take residential,
Uh-huh.
everyone is like very much inclined towards Vastu.
Mhm.
So we take it on ourselves to equip, ourselves with the knowledge of it. We are not taught about that in college.
So it's a self-study, I can say that.
It's self-study, yes.
So self-research, self-study, because we being an Indian, like it's an Indian mentality. So before constructing home, Vastu is the first priority. So that
Yeah,
is why I thought of asking this part. So
yeah.
concluding this, yeah, go ahead. You were saying something.
Sorry, I was just going to say there are courses also that is available
Hmm.
on Vastu.
Okay.
So I have few of my friends who have taken up Vastu, and one very interesting thing that happens in architecture college is if one person learns
Hmm.
something, it's very easy to spread it across to everyone because we work in groups, we design our things, we discuss in groups.
Okay.
Before the main jury itself happens, we have our own friendly discussion will not and things like that.
Okay. Super.
Yeah. So if somebody learned Vastu or if I've learned something about a new material, it's much easier for me to circulate it because of this education system in place.
And coming to this internship part, Praharsha, like company will come to the campuses for hiring, usually like IT sector. If you're looking into the IT sector, so the MNC will come to the campus and hire the candidates, and that is how this hiring procedure goes. So is it same for
Correct.
architecture student also?
Unfortunately, we do not have campus selections.
Uh-huh.
So how it works is we again with respect to how your results also,
Mhm.
it's different in architecture. One is portfolio is very 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 important.
Okay.
Like I can't emphasize on how important it really is.
No
It's
worries.
actually more important than your scores.
Mhm.
Sometimes what happens, your CGPAs can come down because of one semester and all of that, but if you are able to cope it up with your knowledge and with your portfolio, you are good to go. That's not an issue at all.
Okay.
But again, I would say from the get-go, if you are maintaining a good CGPA, obviously it's going to be beneficial.
Okay.
Uh, I'm not even telling like try for a 9, try for a 8. Somewhere in the band of 6.5 is really good for any other opportunities
Okay.
post. And if at all you are lucky enough, and it is really difficult to get a CGPA
Okay.
because, like I said, opinions are different. So, how people grade you on your design is very different.
Okay.
So, if you get 7 to 8, it is really good CGPA. Moving ahead, so you have to prepare like a portfolio. In this portfolio, all your designs from when you have from first sem to
Okay.
10th sem, whatever you have done, right? All that will be come into one book,
Okay.
and the presentation of the book also has to be very good level. Then you will start applying it through LinkedIn. You have pages like Arc Daily,
Mhm.
and you have pages like Dzine.
Okay.
So these have jobs under, like when you scroll down their website,
Okay.
they'll have like hiring, all of that. Then
Okay.
you just have to send them your mail. You have to send them your mail, CV, portfolio,
Okay.
and by then you wouldn't have got your grade card. So they just pick you on your portfolio.
Portfolio.
And then if they like you, they will obviously call you for an interview in their office, and the process continues from there.
And no worries, guys. I'll be attaching those website link in the description. You can go and have a look into that. And one thing, let's assume that
Yeah.
a backbencher like me want to pursue architecture. So, what is the satisfactory CGPA he or she should maintain? You mentioned that 7 or 8 is the threshold. So, I'm a
Yes.
backbencher. So is it the same for me also? Like, what is your suggestion on that?
So again, like I said, it all comes down to how good your work is. Like CGPA, obviously, again, CGPA, if you're planning to pursue architecture and get into field immediately after your bachelor's, if that is your goal, CGPA doesn't, come into play at all.
Okay.
But later, let's say if you're taking 2 years of experience, after that you want to do your master's,
Okay.
either in India or abroad, obviously they will have a spectrum, right, from which they'll analyze you. There needs to be something tangible.
Okay.
So if you want it in India, 6.5 is also a good score depending on the college you want to get
Mhm.
in. But like I said, above 7, above 7.5
Super.
should be the aim from the beginning.
Okay.
And also good portfolio along the side, and mainly your own knowledge on the practical things that are happening, what is happening in the field. That
Okay.
is what is more important than really studying or like mugging up things.
Okay. So you should be passionate about the career. That is what I can say. So if you are passionate about the career, then it will be seen in your work. That is what I
Yeah.
can. And coming to the main point, Praharsha, it's like India versus abroad. Okay, so
Hmm.
here India versus abroad is about the demand of this career. So what is
Mhm.
your view? What is your opinion? And what is your what we say scene observation? So how is the demand
Okay.
of this career in India versus in the abroad? Just 1 minute of explanation.
Okay. So, because I already have like a work experience here for 1.5 year, and I have friends who are working here, I would say it's obviously much easier to get into your job in your own home country. Like it's much easier. There are n number of firms who are hiring every second, right? But again, if you say, I would say, like, what is your goal? If you
Okay.
want to do something related to your own local materials, local artisans, if that is what you want to explore, India is the right place to be,
Okay.
because we have a lot of history also back, like that say a lot of monuments, everything. You can learn n number of things, and we have so many skilled artisans. Even abroad, people hire from India to work there. If it's like many intricate works and all,
Uh-huh.
it depends. Like if that is what you want to pursue, India is the right choice. But if you are looking for like global exposure, if you want to get into firms like, say, there is a firm called Big, there are Zaha Hadid
Okay.
Associates.
Mhm.
So those are big names in
Mhm.
the field.
Okay.
So they have been in the business from way long, and they are achieving a lot of things. Obviously, if you want like a global exposure, global networking, you want to see what other countries are doing, then abroad is the way forward. And in abroad also, there are limited or specific countries,
Okay.
which obviously like Dubai is there, which are known for its infrastructure, and they are experts in like new technology, right? They are making their own islands, they are building their own structure. So Dubai, if is what interests you, there's Singapore, and many countries like that. So it's again very specific to your needs and what you would want to achieve.
Right. Super. And again, coming back to the India part, again, if you're looking into the digging into this sectors, private
Mhm.
sector versus government sector. So how,
Hmm.
let's assume that, yeah, I want to be a, job safety is my first
Yeah.
priority and I'll go with government sector. So what are the
Okay.
opportunities we can see, look into this government sector, Prasha? Any talk on that?
Okay, so I don't have a first-hand experience in any government-related things, but as per my knowledge, you can get into PWD, which is Public Work
Okay.
Department. They will do the metro lines or
Mhm.
any big dams, bridges, all of that, flyovers. And government usually focuses on things that will help the public, right? So these transports,
Okay.
city
Mhm.
planning, urban planning, we have a lot of jobs,
Okay.
if I'm not wrong, in the government sector. If you consider right after architecture, you'll have to you'll have to get a license on COA.
Okay.
So, like I mentioned before, there's
Yeah.
some council of architecture. After your bachelor's is done, you will apply for your license.
Okay.
Then you will get a license number and a card.
Okay.
Then you are valid to work as an architect. After you get the card or the number, you can apply to UPSC exams, or there are a lot of government sectors who
Okay.
have their own openings. So you just get through that. One more, if in architecture is really not what you're looking into, but you still want to stay in the creative field and all, in government there is like historical restorations and all.
Mhm.
So they restore
Good.
the
Yeah,
museums,
yeah.
they restore the,
What
so
about
all
that?
that also you can get into if it's government that you are looking at.
All right. It's like redesigning the old monument. Like some marble will be affected, so you guys will be going there and restructuring it. Such kind of responsibilities.
Yes, like you will be obviously working with archaeologists, so they will help you. They'll tell you if the change is really possible to
Okay.
do. Uh, and also not just like restoring them, but let's say the crowd in that museum is becoming too much. They want to just add another block.
Okay.
And no private sector can take that up unless a government gives you
Yes.
like
Permission.
a, exactly.
Okay.
So all that you can take that up.
So then it was hell of talking. Lot of information was understood. So I guess from my end, all questions has been asked. So if you want to add from your end, please go ahead. We'll finish it up before that.
Uh, I think we have actually covered a lot of things that I wanted to talk about also. But I just want to say anyone who is, wanting to pursue this, it is going to be a really tough journey, but it is very fun.
Hmm.
It'll bring new perspectives. Sometimes you'll be very happy and very shocked that even you are able to produce something like that. And you will forget your struggles the minute you see the result. So sometimes you see like a building that is coming and that's your design. No happiness can, match that that product like that.
Well,
And
agreed.
lastly, I just want to say that be prepared that there's a different education swap altogether.
Hmm.
So be prepared to take the change as it comes and go with the flow, and it'll all sort out. Yeah.
Alright. So adding to Prahasha's point, guys, the journey of success will always be having a cost as well as the sacrifices. So just plan according to that. And I guess we covered pretty much everything. And Prahasha, really thanks for taking time and joining us. And being an Indian, it's all people's dream that they will be having a dream house. So you guys will
Yeah.
be playing a vital role in making dream come true. So I really
Yes.
appreciate you for taking time and joining us and sharing your career path and inputs and job opportunities to our audience. Thanks a lot, yeah.
Thank you, Akshay, for having me. Thank you.
And yeah, guys, I'll be attaching all the link in the description. What Prahasa was mentioning, the job portals and the sources what she used during her preparation. Everything will be uh, attached in the description, and she will be having her official Instagram page. You can just go and follow up and get connected with her. And I guess we covered everything. And yeah, Prahasa, thanks once again for joining us today.
So much. Thank you.
And yeah, guys, in the next video, take care.